Andrew woke up with a start. He knew what had happened and his heart sank. The sound of shattering downstairs did the same to his nerves. It had come. After weeks of watching and stalking him, the creature had finally decided to break in. The patio doors, made completely of glass, provided it with a perfect entrance. Andrew lay there in bed, in the blackness, illuminated only by the small amount of light the moon provided through the space between the curtains. He listened for the creature to see if it was inside, secretly praying that everything would be silent. The terrifying cracking of glass under its feet confirmed his worst fear. It had finally made its way into his home. With this crushing realization, Andrew, now shaking, grabbed his titanium baseball bat and crept downstairs, deeper into the darkness. He was determined to confront this thing once and for all, secretly hoping, though, that it would run away when it saw him, as it normally did. Andrew stood at the bottom of the stairs, listening again. At first, all he heard was the cracking of glass under the creature's feet. And then, for the first time, Andrew heard it, breathing heavily as its throat was blocked by phlegm. The hideous monster snarled and clicked, gradually getting closer to Andrew. Now out of the kitchen, the creature was finally off the glass. It walked almost silently now, strangely more agile than it looked, especially considering how clumsily it ran away. Andrew realized what he needed to do. He grasped his weapon tighter and froze, unable to move. He knew he needed to attack it, but he just couldn't. Its teeth, its eyes, its skin. They were human, but not quite. It was in the living room now, and edging closer by the second. Yet Andrew was still too terrified to move. Even if it didn't have arms, this creature was the embodiment of terror to Andrew. Andrew stood at the bottom of the stairs, shaking. He heard the creature getting even closer, the sickening sound of its distorted breathing amplified by the almost pitch-black darkness. It was nearly at him, now. He had one chance to kill it, and he was not going to waste it. The creature stepped into the doorway to the stairs. Andrew was hidden just to the left. He swung at full force, hitting the thing in the chest with the bat. It staggered back, then stopped and looked at Andrew, its tiny, wild eyes staring into his soul. Andrew felt a deep fear unlike anything he had ever experienced. The creature then let out a gurgled hiss, baring all of its sickening, deformed teeth in the process. It kicked Andrew in the gut, winding him. He fell to the floor in pain, unable to move, unable to breathe, then rolled onto his back and sculled up against the wall just behind him. The creature watched him until he reached the wall, at which point it walked towards him and looked down at him as if it were judging him, lying there, helpless. It then stamped on a shin, snapping the bone. Tears began to stream from Andrew's eyes, the pain so intense he thought he was going to vomit. Andrew, now incapacitated, had nowhere to go and no way to fight. The creature placed its foot on his stomach, pressing down, ripping into his flesh with its long, dirty toenails. With the creature's foot now completely inside his stomach, Andrew started to cough up blood. Tears streamed down his face. He passed out from the pain, and then passed away. The creature loomed over what was now his bloody corpse. It descended its face towards Andrew's, then tore away a bloody piece of flesh from his chin, dislocating one side of his jaw in the process. The creature continued to tear and eviscerate Andrew's corpse until everything it could stomach had been devoured. It then left, calmly, silently, with a pure and deep hatred in its heart. It departed the same way it came in, through the broken patio doors.